Hey, Bobby, look, I'm American.
I think I'll use my credit card. Do you guys have anything non-dairy? Anything gluten-free?
Welcome everybody to the Plumes of Hazard. I am your host, the Axel Vapor. To my left is the lovely, talented, always present Fubaga, and below me, right down here, is the voider of warranties himself.
Always present? What kind of shit is that? What dig is that at, asshole?
Little dig.
Yeah. Where's my fuck you Texas? Let me start playing that shit right now. Fine. Bye.
He won't go. He loves us too much. Oh, boy. Okay, so now my thing's over here. Let's get this more gooder. There, that's better. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that thing. That video, by the way, the intro was courtesy of, if you've been around here for a while, you probably remember him as Igor Vaporsky. Our friendly neighborhood weatherman.
He's dead to me.
He's dead. He has kind of ducked out a couple of times when he was supposed to come on.
Dude, no. He went. I straight up told him like, "Hey, you down to say some words?" He's like, "Yeah, dude." And then I messaged him. I'm like, "Hey, we're gonna go live soon." He's like, "Yeah, no." It was like some real like bitch out shit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you caught him at a bad time. Maybe he was on his man period.
He couldn't skip through his part with his right arrow key. That's why he couldn't penis through it.
It's true.
And there you go.
It's true.
Boo, Igor.
Welcome. So yeah, that's a good question there, Tomas. He says, question for everybody here: are we scared of the coronavirus?
I'm probably gonna get it. I take the subway to work every fucking day. I mean, come on.
Right. Exactly. You're in a crowded metropolitan area in a subway too.
I will say this: the cold that took out like 60% of my office.
Yeah.
Not like the company, but like my department in particular. I got it for like a day and a half, and it never progressed past like fever and chills. So I was just like,
"Yeah, I beat the coronavirus. You need a T-shirt."
So that's what I mean. I beat that. I'm like, I'm warm.
Here's something I've thought about is could somebody who is infected that doesn't know spread it by vaping?
I mean, they already spread other things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you cough and you sneeze, that's one thing, right? But what if you are, making it an aerosol? Again, I have no idea how that virus lives. But it likes wet and it likes warm. Mm-hmm. Or I wouldn't say warm, but likes wet and a stable environment. And
I would assume, and this is an assumption, of course, but I would assume that if you're going to spread it, it's going to be by breathing, and it doesn't really matter if you've got vapors in your lungs or not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always the old PG trope, right? The antibacterial thing, but that's bacterial. I don't think it's antiviral.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So I'm guessing yes, you could spread it, but I would put money on that you would spread it just as effectively by breathing versus if you're vaping or not.
Yeah, I don't think it's airborne, so I think you have to have droplets, like a cough and a sneeze and so but yeah, it's
Oh Lord. So Monty just said they're saying that you can reacquire the virus easily. So after you beat it, and the meds that they give you the first round are likely to cause heart issues the next time around.
Yikes.
fantastic.
Yeah, I know that they're working on a what?
Sorry. Well, he just
go ahead.
mentioned this. The next question I was going to have for everybody, which is, do we think this is a man-made thing?
I don't think so.
No?
I think we got a bunch of Ozzy Osbourne motherfuckers over there biting heads off of bats, like right out of a bowl of bat soup.
Well, remember they had to euthanize like fucking 40% of the pigs in the country because they had some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that was back the swine flu.
Yeah, the H1N1 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or was
Well,
that the
and
bird
you
flu?
know,
H1N1 sounds like the Hummer reboot.
I think that was the bird flu.
That was the bird flu. I couldn't remember. That was swine flu.
I saw something today where they traced it down to about 92% certainty that it came from these specific bats, and they have the bats at like a CDC center over there overseas, and they actually have the virus, behind lock and key. And they were able to derive it from the bats. So they took the bats that they were selling at these markets right in the downtown of Wuhan, and they were able to basically extract the virus from those bats. So there's and dude, they started showing pictures of this. Like it's called an animal market.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it is rough. I mean, you see some weird shit over there overseas, but this thing was like animals that were in like rotting cages that were, and they're saying that probably it was, as they were processing one of those bats, the person came in contact with the saliva or the blood, and rubbed their faces, rubbed their mouth, and then they started to spread.
As you do, right? When you're handling a bat, that's what you want to do. You want to rub the blood.
Yeah. You want to, Kalima, and rip the head off. Rip the head off. Yeah, and they do eat dogs. So the videos of this market was kind of tough to watch because they're panning through, and it's like, they have these bat cages, and they have like porcupines, and they have like all these weird ass animals, and then there's a bunch of dogs that are dead, but they're just like, wrapped up. Yeah. So they're just like in balls, like down the street, and it was crazy. So and the thing too is that I was reading about is okay, they're going to eat other animals. Different cultures eat different things, right?
Yes, right.
It wasn't that. It was how dirty everything was. Right. In addition to, the
slightly objectionable animal selection,
mixing things with together. So they're saying if there had been proper hygiene and proper cooking, like tastes like chicken. Right. So.
Well, I mean, what's the classic example, right? Is it the French that think we're weird and picky for not eating horse?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so. I mean, that's true, but the thing that I was reading a while back was, it wasn't really suggesting it was a conspiracy for population control, but they also said that they did have a brand new like bioweapons facility like open up like down the street where they found patient zero. Yeah. But there's that.
Oh man.
Let's just hope. I mean, I think we can say that. We can hope that the Chinese government, as questionable as they are with a lot of their other decisions, aren't literally killing their own people en masse, right? Let's just hope.
Yeah. Maybe.
Let's hope.
So apparently doctors are warning people not to put frozen potatoes in their anus.
That's a good tip.
So yeah, apparently people are putting frozen potatoes in their ass to cure hemorrhoids. Friends, the H in preparation H does not stand for hash browns. Okay. So don't put frozen fries in your fanny. No, don't put a tater up your turd cutter. Don't go to fifth base with a fingerling. It's just not safe. Don't put a crinkle cut up the butt. Don't shove a Yukon Gold in your bunghole. A tater tot.
Yeah, I like that one.
A tater tot doesn't go in the nose spot. Don't put a spud in your rosebud. Don't shove a yam in your can. A tater is not a side dish for your starfish. Don't put a curly fry in the brown eye. No russet in the back. Hang on. I'm almost done. No russet in the back gusset. Don't put a tuber in the tutor. Don't put a top inside your balloon knot. Okay. There you go. But yeah, it's an actual.
Put a curly eye in your brown eye.
There you go. Don't put potatoes in your butthole.
I like the picture on the left there of them covering up. I have, of all the funny things about that last bit, my first question is one of them in particular. I had no idea that was fifth base. Call me a prude.
Is that fifth base or is that extra innings?
I don't know. He said fifth base.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, as a man of baseball, I have to ponder this now.
Right. Just some serious questions.
Real. I'm trying to like what's a baseball analogy for anal? That isn't like summarized by the typical model.
RBI? I don't know. An additional bat end? I don't know. Wait, pinch hitter. Not so much.
Meh.
No, that's like wingman shit.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's true.
Oh fuck.
Will says squeeze play. In the pickle? No, that's probably something else.
I think Will might be right.
I think you're right.
I think the squeeze play is the closest thing we have.
No. What's the what's that word for sounding? That's the squeeze. That's the in the pickle. That's what that one is.
That's not part of the game.
That's just you're just gonna object on just on every ground.
Yeah.
Objection.
Fair enough. So right before the show went live, Fu told me something that I didn't know. I'm gonna tee this up for him to talk about, I guess. But he said that he can't order knives online because
I can't order shit on Amazon anymore to my place.
What? Why?
It's been in the works for a while.
Is that a New York thing?
Yeah, or an NYC thing. I don't know because I don't live on Long Island anymore to test.
Yeah.
Wait, do I still have my old address in my Amazon?
That's weird.
Just go.
God, that's gonna be a pain in the ass.
No, I'm just curious because fuck.
I mean, what are we?
Stop by my old house to pick up my knife.
What are we, the UK now though? That's crazy. Can't order knives.
See all.
I wonder if you don't get them from Amazon if you get them from somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean maybe one of the smaller knife sites. You mean that haven't necessarily paid attention to the current rules?
Yeah, they just ship whatever to wherever.
Won't ship to my old house either. Shit, I guess it's a state thing.
Bastards.
That's weird.
It is weird. I mean, weird doesn't really cover it. It's awful. It's. I mean.
Oh well.
There's so much to say about it, but at the same time, I just don't really want to talk about it. It's so crappy.
I can figure a way around it.
Yeah.
Don't say that. You can't figure it a way around it.
Yeah.
No, I can't. Just wishful thinking.
Exactly, Fezzy. I mean, how do you cut your steak in two?
I'm just stuck with these when opening this the right way the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
No more knives. See, this is it. This is all I got. There's another one that's over there somewhere.
Hope that's enough.
No more knives.
That's weird.
Hopefully you're not going to get the knock on the door. Sir, you're on our knife registry. Turn him over.
Said who?
Yeah.
Said Beto O'Rourke. He's going to come knocking on your door.
When they open the door, you can just be like, let me cut to the chase.
I don't understand what a knife has on a door.
I don't understand what a knife has on a door.
Boy.
Wait. Uh-oh.
You got a grit?
Needs a little oil.
A little bit.
Pocket gunk and such.
We were going to have a guest on tonight. I was talking to Mr. Alex Clark from CASA. And the reason I contacted him was obviously he hasn't been on in a minute, and it would be good to have an update. But specifically, the last few days I've had a couple emails from CASA about the vaping prohibition that's going through. This is federal, not by state. This is federal.
Mm-hmm.
Going through the House. Yeah, full House. So let me share my screen. Oh, let me finish my story. So Alex said he's sorry he couldn't make it, but because he had a meeting, like a late meeting, like right now, for CASA, that he couldn't come. But I do think I can show you there's the call to action. So this was from just 5 days ago, and I got an email about it today again. Let's come down here. So legislation being supported by Bloomberg-funded anti-harm reduction groups, of course. But this is the bill, HR 2339, and as always, you need a clicky right here. Is my mouse on the screen here? I hope so. I think it is.
No.
Yeah,
I can't say it. Yeah,
right there. Right there. Take action. Send a message. And then you come down here and you can change this. You can change this. This is going to your senators. This is going to the Prezi. And then it's your U.S. representative. And
they're calling it.
Fill this stuff
they're
in. They're
calling
right
it
here.
the most far-reaching prohibition bill since the ban on alcohol.
Yeah. It is not insignificant.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely send that out. I have gotten auto responses back from my my various people where I'm at. Let me go back to here. I've gotten auto responses back, but I haven't got any responses back. And I don't always, but I do try to when I get the, it's usually somewhat formulaic. I mean, I'm sure they've got standard things that they whoever is helping them answer the email has got their position or whatever. And they'll always say they'll pass it on to the actual person that you're writing to. But I always reply back. Just saying, hey, this is something that's helped me. Please let me be a resource for you to help educate either, whatever representative or senator, but also, whatever I can do to help. Basically, just offering that up. And I don't know that it helps, but it makes me feel a little bit better that I've done more than just contact. And contacting is big. It's easy. Definitely do that. But start a dialogue, right? We all might not be Alice Clark, but we can at least do what we can do.
We can give them a few grayer hairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we can save
hairs.
Alice one or two, right?
Yeah. So my coworker just posted in our group chat a picture of Bane. So this is the mask that will protect you from coronavirus.
Oh yeah, it's. Eddie said New Jersey politicians are the worst in the nation. There's some people out there to give them a run for the money.
New Jersey's pretty bad.
Sure. Mass
for what they have to work with.
Bad.
For what they have to work with, they're pretty fucking bad. Because New Jersey has the most inflated fucking budget in the union, bar none.
Is that right?
Because of it's how their state is like divided. Too many separate municipalities. Very economically inefficient. But I'm not. We're not ragging on Jersey tonight.
Don't got the
energy. I'm sorry for that shit tonight, man.
I was gonna say, don't got the energy tonight. That's fine.
I don't, because I work with a decent number of people who commute in from Jersey, because I work all the way on the west side, and I do a good bit of ragging at work. So I get my practice in. That's for sure.
What, ragging on Jersey? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's well, Blaggy. They're talking about Blaggy now in chat. At least that's what I assume they're talking about. Oh well. So yeah, that was the piece of vape news that I wanted to bring out there. I'm sure all the people in chat here have already registered with CASA and given them your email address so that they can keep you apprised of all these things. But In case you haven't and you're new, it's CASAA.org. These are the people that are fighting for your right to use vaping to reduce harm and maybe even quit nicotine altogether. Maybe happens.
I need a bubbly beverage. I'll be back.
Yeah, do it to it.
Totally forgot about it before we went live. Damn it.
Yeah, I reminded you, but I don't think you heard me. So yeah, there's that. I did reach out. This is something we talked about last week. We talked about that new Haku mod that was unusual, and we couldn't exactly figure out what it was last week, or maybe it was the week before. Anyway, I did reach out earlier to Steven. I haven't heard back from him. He's on the other side of the world, upside down probably as well. So I haven't heard back from him yet. But when I find out, I will try to bring that back to you so we can try to figure out how the hell that thing works. And by the way, something I did find out, speaking of Haku, Steven did write a really long post today, just kind of like his motivation for doing what he does and with Haku. And it's really, it's a great read. It really encapsulates why, because I've told you guys for a long time that I like Steven. He's a good guy. Like, forget his products. His products are great, but Steven's a good dude. He wrote up kind of a little bit of his motivations behind starting Haku and why he does what he does. It's freaking cool. You should go read it. If you're in the Haku group, definitely go read it.
Yo, I totally opened my can and I may have cut my nails a bit short a few days ago. I just got in the worst spot. Really stung. God damn. How the fuck? I was eating pistachios last night, but I couldn't open a fucking can of seltzer.
Oh. Whenever I'm attacking a can that's particularly stubborn,
It wasn't even stubborn. I just fucked up the grip. That was all.
Oh, okay. I push down on the middle bit to pop the back.
Yeah.
It helps. Sometimes they're real flat.
I never have an issue with the seltzer cans. Sometimes, a lot of the time, I can middle finger them.
Oh, what? Terrible. Where is that picture? I was going to, and I hope I'm not going to. Yeah, this will take just a minute. I need to pull this picture up because it's something that we should probably talk about. There it is. We're going to grab this. We're going to pull it over here. We're going to put it over here. We're going to go open. And Monty, I'm going to share the picture that you sent earlier. I hope that doesn't upset you. Because it's a cool piece of kit.
Piece of kid.
That
fucking Brit
is not the one that I was after. Oh man.
Oh, I got our sysadmin on Clark and Daw yesterday.
You got your sysadmin on what?
Clark and Daw. I'm surprised you hadn't heard of them, but yeah. He sent me this skit of 3 men in a bathroom. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No. What is that? It sounds terrible.
Basically, it's like three guys peeing at urinals, right? And one guy's trying to drink a beer while he's, actually no, he's trying to light a cigarette or something, right? He's lighting a cigarette while he's peeing, and he's trying to drink his beer, and he asks the guy next to him to hold his dick while he...
Right.
You've seen that, right?
I've seen that one, yes. I have.
So he sends me that, and then I'm just like, Clark and Daw popped into my head. I'm like, have you heard of these guys? He's like, no, I haven't. I'm like, okay, well, you got your work cut out for you on your commute home.
Okay, I'm going to pop this up. Guys are not going to be able to see it, but everybody else can, I think. Oh, it's all zoomed out. How do I fix that? There we go. So we'll just pick this up. This is something that we talked about a while back. So if you've ever seen the old vape shell, it was a Build Box Addy that I used for a little while. I bought one to check it out. I had some experiences with it, and had to deal with the customer service and stuff, but they were nice. It was not my favorite Build Box Addy. It was probably a significant second compared to the Exoset. and now it's the third compared to the Zeta and Exocet. But still, it wasn't a bad Addy. But the interesting thing about this is the vape snail, which is snail is not a word that I want associated with something I'm putting in my mouth. But, I mean, just. I mean, all you can think of is nasty snail goo and snail trails, which isn't any better.
No.
But anyway, so this is the vape snail, and what it is it's a vape shell, but it's got its own tank, and the reason it's got its own tank is you can take the Addy out without draining your billet box tank, your Boro, which is a pretty cool idea. If I like the vape shell more, I would probably be in the market for it. But it is not cheap. It's like $150, I think, something like that. It comes with an Addy and a tank, right? So I think it's appropriately priced, but meh. Anyway, so you fill it out of this little monkey here, but you can leave it closed and just take the Addy out the bottom, which is kind of cool. I think it's kind of neat. It's a if they made it, that's why I joked with Will. I said if they made that for the Zeta, I'd pay money for that tank right now. That would be great, but I'm not gonna buy it and vape on a worse Addy in order to not drain my tank. Yeah.
So you still have to drain your tank for the Zeta? That's lame.
Yeah, it's just like any other billet box Addy, right?
Are they hard to get?
What, the Zeta?
Cool.
Not at all.
I think I need to get back into that group. I may have left because I was just.
I am sure we can make that happen. We do know a couple people that run it.
Do you now?
They're not in chat tonight, I don't think, but we can probably make it happen. I do need to say that Will does say that it vapes better than the vape shell. He says. I don't know why it looks like the vape shell, but hey, he says it. Monty knows his shit. I say okay.
Oh, Vape Gen got canceled. I missed that today.
I did see that. I think Markski posted that the Vape Gen was canceled. They seem to have
I'm looking
for some reason.
I'm looking at Nigel's post right now. Also, it's Johnny Cash's birthday today.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have known. I saw it on. Tom Morello posted his picture on the Instagrams today. I saw that.
Tomas is talking about he's got 16 infected there in Germany right at the beginning of the outbreak. And we've got a couple too. In fact, I saw an article today that a flight attendant landed in LA with it.
Did you see the one Chef posted?
Maybe.
About Nassau County, which is...
No.
Actually, no, wait. Nassau County is that way. There are 83 people being monitored for it. Yeah. It's
looking better and better to have a home office.
Yeah, unfortunately, upstairs at work, the brass, they don't know about my working from home just because of the whole access situation's a bit sensitive. So there are some nights where I have to take some work home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeet.
Plus, dude, if I had this set up at work.
Matt, Will just said there's a 24+ day incubation, which I did not know.
Yes, that's why they're holding them. They're holding them. I think it's 2 weeks.
That's a long. Didn't they make a movie about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always the problem with flying, though, right, Joshua? That's you're no matter, even when you don't have the coronavirus going around, you still are in a metal tube breathing the same air as a couple hundred other people.
Oh, it's a good time to not be working regional sales trying to slang juice.
Right. Yeah.
No, I take the subway to work every day and work in a fairly large office, and I'm all around it.
Festy, you trying to give somebody like a conniption fit or something? He said, "Do you know how many hands have been on the things you pick up in the grocery store?" I know a
You know
guy
how
that if
awesome-
you would just legitimately, if you would to say that to him, he would be washing his hands while he was seated while he was talking to you, and then he would probably go to the pantry and, no joke, wash everything in the pantry like with alcohol or something. He's quite the germaphobe. That's all right, man. I mean, to a certain extent, I think that's what gives us a bit of an immunity, right? You know, I never understood the idea of like sterilizing anything that your child comes into contact with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all it's going to do is make them stronger. It's all good. Yeah, they may get some.
Well, certain people you
There's-
want to sterilize before your child comes into contact.
Certain people, that's true.
Yeah.
There's studies about the number of dogs, and if you have around kids who are born and grow up with them, and the different immunities that they build from having, you know, animals
Dogs
around
yeah.
them. And you know, most typically it's dogs. You know, because cats would be a danger to a pregnant mother with all the shit in the poop and all that other stuff. So you figure dogs are usually
plasmosis or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it was real interesting seeing that.
I didn't have a dog growing up, but I was around enough dogs growing up.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure my son's got great immunity because he sits in his pack and play like this and lets ammo come and lick the inside of his mouth. I'm like, no.
I've seen where that dog's mouth has been, son, and you do not want it in your mouth.
Yeah.
I've heard that dog fart, and I've smelled his farts through the camera.
He goes, instead of saying ammo, he goes, happa. And then he goes, and the dog's just like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what the fuck?
I was just watching that dog eat its own poop just a minute ago.
No, they don't eat their own poop, but they do lick themselves. So
they definitely also do that. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Lick
So-
these nuts.
Well, I mean, the science says that the dog's mouth is cleaner than the cat's mouth. That's what people say. I, however, call bullshit because I do see dogs eating feces all the time. Never seen a cat eat poop, but dogs eat it all the time, and they all lick their own butts, right? Both of them lick their own butts.
The cats don't eat their own poop because it's got the ectoplasm in it, you know. So yo,
Cats are too pretentious to eat their own shit.
Absolutely.
This shit is no joke. Like, you know, when they talk about crazy old cat ladies, well, the reason they're probably crazy is because they've become in contact with that. You know, people have like 6, 7, 8, 9 cats. You know, I knew a friend's mom that she had like brain issues because of dealing with having like 10 cats in a small enclosed space and not changing the litter out very often.
Well, the toxic plasmosis thing is only really dangerous to pregnant women because of the baby, not because of the woman. It's the baby that can get it. But
I think it has something.
They do say that it does affect people's brains and the only thing it does though is it makes you like cats more. That's what I've heard. It's a really weird sort of thing that it endears you to cats.
That's crazy.
It is a little weird. I think it's, you know, that you talk about the cat ladies. I think unfortunately that's just one of those coincidences or correlation does not equal causation, because I think the people that would own 10 cats are a little crazy anyway. The same people that own 10 dogs, they're just a little weird. That's all there is to it. They could have 0 animals and still be weird.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Oh, by the way, hello, Chronic. He's here from Malaysia. We haven't had a Malaysian folk in here in a bit. Good to see you. Oh, we haven't said hello to everybody yet. Oh, crap. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Addy Tooney, Festy, Joshua, Chronic, Will, of course. Will I am. Who else we got in here? Tomas and Chronic. And I saw somebody else earlier, and I forgot who it was. Who was it? Oh, Duro and Al. What up, boys? And Hobag. I knew I forgot some people. And John Vapes. Corey. Lots of folks up in here today. Good to see y'all. Welcome. Oh, yeah. He said, so Chronic said that in Malaysia that most of the infected patients have been recovered and they're being admitted out of hospital. But around the world, people keep on dying. Yeah, they keep on dying.
Preparedness. And it's also like, we haven't quite completely figured it out yet.
Well,
you know,
and to Monty's
we also
point,
reacted late to it.
Yeah, we reacted late to it, and
like 3 weeks too late, in my opinion.
To Monty's point, though, if it's got a 24-day incubation period, there's probably a lot of people rolling around.
Exactly. So that's what I mean. That's why I said 3 weeks too late.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, my sister just texted me. She said, "Ready to feel old?" I was like, "Okay." She said, "Pinky in the Brain is 25 years old."
Oh boy.
Oh God. That does make me feel a little old.
Okay, peep this. I remember a family friend of mine had, I guess it was Windows 95 then, huh?
When?
Around when Pinky in the Brain was hot.
Probably.
He had all of his Windows sounds replaced with Pinky in the Brain.
As you do, as you would. Like back in the day, that was replacing. So
instead of doom, it was nof.
So
what was the one? The one that always stuck with me is, well, I don't know, Brian, but where we're gonna find a duck on a rubber hose at this hour? That one was always the one that was a little like, a little creepy. Sorry, Bass. What?
I just saw a thing through one of the feeds saying that in Israel, doctors have not had physical contact with corona patients. The patients use smart devices, allowing the doctors to listen to their heart and lungs remotely, as well as look into their ears and throats, while a sensor system monitors their breathing patterns for signs of respiratory infection.
Mm.
Interesting. Yeah, don't kill off all the doctors.
Yeah. Monty says the best things that the masks do for you is keep you from touching your face. I think that's true. The other thing that they do, and this is what people that, at least here in the States that I run into, don't understand, is the people that are wearing the mask are not wearing it to protect themselves. The people that wear the mask in Japan and in China and other countries, they wear it to protect other people because they don't feel
right.
well.
Correct.
Because that's the only thing it really does is it protects things coming out of your mouth. You inhale with a mask on, air's going all around that thing. It's not going through it.
That's the thing is like, man, people who know how to properly use PPE equipment.
Yes.
Know that, first of all, you can't have hair on your face when you use a P100 mask like that.
Correct.
Second of all, if you get any fluid on it, it's done. You got to throw it away. That's why like surgeons change their shit out every hour or 2 hours. As you breathe, you exhale moisture. It gets moisture on. Like, people have no fucking clue. No. People are selling boxes of 10 masks online for like $200. You know, just feeding that panic. Yeah. You know, there's so much shit. Like, all these people are getting these masks, and you're right. You know, the mask is there to protect other people when you're sneezing, coughing. That's the same thing with like when you're wearing, you know, when you've done stuff with, you know, gases that can kill you. You're trained on how to make sure a mask is properly sealed on your face.
Right.
You know, there's training that you have to go through before you do that. And, you know, you got these people buying, you know, some of these masks, and it's like, you're just wasting your money doing some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my sister's best friend, he actually just moved back to the States from Japan, but he lived in Japan for like the last like 12 years. And he was saying, he's like, yeah, everyone in my office wears the masks, but it doesn't do shit because everyone all gets sick the same.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I didn't know that. Chronic said Iran, they've got isolated cases of that there.
Yeah.
And they've never had contact with China. So somebody's had contact with China that came over.
Yeah.
Unless it's like spontaneously, you know, started in Iran at the same time as China, which I doubt.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure patient zero and whatever was in China, in that Wuhan region. I mean, hey, you know, we're a world connected by sausage metal tubes.
Right. Is it just me, or is Wuhan lots of fun to say?
Yeah.
I say Wuhan flan.
Wuhan, you got that virus in check. Got that heck knock shit that make you shake your head. Wuhan, cough, sneeze. Now you got that bitch.
Wuhan.
Speaking of which, I hope everybody else thought the intro was as funny as I did, because I really liked that a lot. That guy cracked me up. I think I would like to put this on my credit card.
Well, I think we've done enough scaring our fucking audience. So.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Sorry, guys. I mean, it's current events. It's what's going on. Got to be careful.
That is true.
Tomas only knows this woo.
Have you decided what you're gonna do with that yet? Did you say you were gonna like break the edges or mount it to something or something?
No. I jokingly said I'm going to make a chain out of it, but I have to round out the edges.
Right.
So, no. What I am going to do when it gets warmer out is I'm going to lacquer it, because whatever is going to be on is inevitably going to be sweating. So.
Right.
Indubitably, bleep, bleep.
Yeah. No, that is worrisome for sure, Tomas. I don't know what to do with that. I hadn't seen that. The Iran guys have got it too. It's definitely spreading for sure.
I tell you what, I'm just never going to leave the house.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I'll actually finally start really, really get a proper crack into Red Dead Redemption.
I still haven't played that.
Red Dead 2 is a prequel, just saying.
Is what?
Red Dead 2 is a prequel.
Oh, it's a prequel. Okay. Gotcha.
So yeah, I guess I'll just get into that game to avoid Wuhan. Should I may already have it. 3 weeks later.
I have been, speaking of video games, I've been playing. I
do need to stop picking my nose in these times, though.
I just picked up the Switch game, the Zelda Switch game that came out a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't even realized that it came out. So I picked it up, dusted it off my Switch.
What is it called? Windbreaker?
No, Wind Waker is a different one. That was for the.
That was the launch for Switch.
No, Wind Waker.
Oh no, that was Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild. Yeah,
Windbreaker.
Windbreaker. Yeah, so I didn't even heard that it came out, and I think it's actually kind of a quasi re-release from an older one that was on the 3DS or something, is what I heard. But it's pretty cool. I've enjoyed it so far. It's actually slightly more difficult than I thought it would be. As far as like puzzly things go, it's not too bad. It's it's not rocket surgery or anything, but it's also not a baby kids game. It was a little bit better. I actually died a couple times.
Zelda is the story of the largest cock tease in video games.
Which is the largest cock tease in video games?
Zelda,
Wow.
I guess. I mean, or Super Mario. No, Super Mario is what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, just in general, just as a theme, as a trope. Yeah, I would agree.
Fucking Peach.
Always saving the Peach. Peach is always running off with Bowser.
Dumb
The
skank.
Peach.
At
He's
some
a dumb
point,
skank.
Mario, let her go, buddy. Just let her go. She doesn't want you.
She's a dumb skank.
She likes the giant turtle thing. Hey,
Yo, I go out of my way in Mario Kart. It doesn't matter if it's an NPC or not. I try and just put her into the wall.
Just on principle.
Yeah. Fuck.
I didn't play BioShock 3 either, Josh.
BioShock Infinite, you mean?
Yeah, I think so. I assume that's what he meant. I played the
In
first
terms
couple.
of if you're expecting evolution in game mechanics, then it's not exactly what you're looking for in Infinite. But the story of Infinite, I thought, was my favorite out of the franchise.
Is that right?
Yeah. Really tugs at your feels, I must say.
Well, the first one even was.
But the visuals, everything, like the game design of gun mechanics and clunky are kind of hand in hand with BioShock.
Yeah.
But the aesthetics of Infinite.
So I mean, even
Really,
the first
really
one with the big daddies and the and the Little Sisters or whatever. I forget what they're called. That whole thing was pretty interesting back then when it first came
And it
out.
was mostly a dark theme of those two, the first two.
Yeah.
But this one's like all outdoor. You're in like a ship in the sky, which is pretty dope. Takes place in 1901, I think. 1902, I believe. The years after the events of Wounded Knee.
Yeah, I think UV is probably the only thing that's going to really do with the old antiviral. I was watching a video. This is a while back. I think it was Big Clive on YouTube that was talking about UV bulbs, and he was dissecting them and showing that this is what they do, and and he was telling a story about one like a nightclub that bought a bunch of UVC bulbs because they thought they were black lights, and apparently like the next day all the people that were there had sunburns basically because their skin had been damaged by the UV.
Fucking dummies.
Yeah.
I thought UV lights were more for germs, though.
UV and for turtles.
Turtles because of the germs, yeah. Turtles have got lots of bacteria and whatnot, but I think UV like destroys everything. It's a DNA wrecker.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I have a UV light in my air purifier, but I highly doubt as to what how much it actually does.
Yeah, I know that.
It has to be like
I know that my RO system has a UV light that the water runs around.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like in an enclosed application, like not in an air purifier. Like I'm sure within the unit itself, it's working, the bulb, but for like the rest there, I mean, whatever. But like I remember in a shop class in middle school, all the goggles, because everyone used the goggles, they were in like a closed off thing,
right,
to sanitize. I think in those applications it works.
Yeah, and you're right. Well, the viruses just in general are super scary. That just like the thing that they can't even be classified as an animal, really, right? Because they're just basically like a partial strands of DNA, and the only thing that they do is replicate themselves. They do nothing else, and they're obviously resistant to antibacterials and stuff, obviously, but they're just creepy. They're creepy little things, just injecting their DNA and things, making other cells make themselves. Creepy.
Put some of that money that you're losing in the stock market into 3M.
No, this is when that's what you're.
Yeah, they are. Some people definitely argue that, right? That they are, but they're not alive, right? They're some weird, like, in-between thing.
So they're like Borg?
Kind of like Borg. They are kind of like Borg in some ways, for sure.
Boom.
Boom.
Go out of my way to make any Borg analogy.
A Borgology.
Yeah, like I make that joke at work, like in an enterprise like setting, like computers in a domain. It's like the Borg but shittier. You chain too many computers together, they all run like shit. At least at my work.
Okay. I think that's all I got to talk about tonight. Is there anything else you guys want to mention?
That's all I got to say about that.
Right on.
That's all I got.
Boys and girls, thank you very much for coming out for this week's Plumes of Hazard. We hope that tonight has been in some way enlightening and entertaining and gave you a giggle or two. But we will see you back next week. Same Plumes time, same Plume channel. Thanks, everybody.
Stay safe, peeps.